You are welcome to Explains 102, where financial tips are made simple. Have you ever wondered why some people earn a good salary but still struggle to pay their bills? Have you ever met someone who seems to make plenty of money, yet they're always worried about their finances? Have you ever asked yourself, if I earned more money, would all my financial problems disappear? Or could there be another reason why so many people live paycheck to paycheck? If you've ever thought about any of these questions, then today's lesson is for you. Let me tell you a story. There were two friends named John and Michael. They graduated from college together, started their careers around the same time, and eventually landed jobs in the same city. A few years later, both were earning approximately $6,000 a month. On paper, they looked almost identical. They both rented comfortable apartments. They both drove reliable cars. They both worked full-time. They both had similar family responsibilities. If you looked only at their salaries, you would expect them to have very similar financial lives. But they didn't. John was constantly stressed about money. Every month felt like a race against time. As soon as his paycheck arrived, it seemed to disappear. By the third week of the month, he was already checking his bank account several times a day. He worried whenever his phone rang because he thought it might be another bill. An unexpected car repair or medical expense could completely throw off his finances. Sometimes he even relied on his credit card just to make it to the next payday. Meanwhile, Michael lived a completely different life. He wasn't rich. He didn't earn more than John. But somehow, he always seemed calm whenever money was discussed. When unexpected expenses came up, he handled them without panic. He took vacations without going into debt. He regularly contributed to his retirement account. He had an emergency fund. And he still had money left at the end of most months. One evening after work, John finally asked the question that had been bothering him for years. Michael, we earn almost the same salary. We have similar jobs and similar expenses. Why does it seem like you're always financially comfortable while I'm always trying to catch up? Michael smiled. He had been expecting that question. He looked at John and said, "John, the biggest difference between us isn't how much we earn." John looked surprised. "It isn't." Michael shook his head. "No. It's how we manage our cash flow." John frowned. Cash flow. I've heard people talk about it before, but I've never really understood what it means. Michael smiled again. Most people think making more money is the answer to every financial problem. But many people with high incomes still struggle financially. Why? Because income alone doesn't create wealth. Understanding cash flow does. John sat quietly. For the first time, he realized that perhaps his paycheck had never been the real problem. Maybe the problem was something he had never taken the time to understand. So what exactly is cash flow? Why do financial experts say it's one of the most important money skills anyone can learn? And how can mastering cash flow completely change your financial future? Let's find out. John couldn't stop thinking about what Michael had said. The biggest difference between us isn't how much we earn. It's how we manage our cash flow. On his way home, John kept asking himself, what exactly is cash flow, and why have I never paid attention to it? The next day, he met Michael for coffee. I've been thinking about our conversation, John said. Can you explain cash flow to me in a way that's easy to understand? Michael smiled. Of course. He picked up a napkin and drew two simple arrows. One arrow pointed into a box. The other arrow pointed out of the box. This box, he said, represents your life. The money coming into the box is your income. The money going out of the box is your spending. Cash flow is simply the movement of money into and out of your life. It's not a complicated financial term. It's something every one of us deals with every single day. John nodded. So the money coming in would be things like my paycheck? Exactly, Michael replied. It could be your salary, freelance income, rental income, dividends from investments, or any other money you receive. And the money going out? Michael laughed. You already know those. Your rent or mortgage. Your groceries. Utility bills. Insurance. Car payments. Gas. entertainment, streaming subscriptions, dining out, shopping. Everything you spend money on. John looked thoughtful. So if I earn $6,000 a month and spend $6,000, my cash flow is balanced, Michael interrupted. But if you consistently spend more than you earn, you have negative cash flow. And that's where financial stress begins. John slowly nodded. That sounds familiar. Michael continued. Negative cash flow doesn't always happen because people earn too little. It often happens because they spend without paying attention. They swipe their credit card. They finance things they can't truly afford. They upgrade their lifestyle every time their income increases. And before long, every dollar they earn already has somewhere to go. John thought about his own life. He remembered his expensive truck payment, the streaming services he barely used, the daily coffee stops, weekend shopping trips, food delivery several times a week, monthly subscriptions he had forgotten about. None of those expenses seemed large on their own, but together, they quietly consumed most of his paycheck. Michael could see the realization on John's face. You see the difference now? John nodded. I've been blaming my income. But my real problem is that too much money is flowing out. Michael smiled. Exactly. Now let's talk about positive cash flow. When your income is greater than your expenses, you have money left over. That extra money gives you choices. You can build an emergency fund. You can invest. You can pay off debt faster. You can prepare for retirement. You sleep better because you're not worried about every unexpected expense. Positive cash flow gives you freedom. John leaned back in his chair. So financial success isn't just about making more money.
No, Michael replied.
It's about keeping more of the money you already make. He paused before saying something John would never forget. Income gets you paid. Cash flow determines whether you stay broke or build wealth. At that moment, John realized that learning how to manage his cash flow might be one of the most valuable financial skills he would ever develop. John left that conversation with a completely different perspective about money. For years, he believed that earning more was the answer to every financial problem. Now he realized that many financial problems begin long before a paycheck arrives. They begin with the decisions we make after we receive it. The first lesson is this. Know your cash flow before you try to increase your income. Many people can tell you exactly how much they earn each year, but very few can tell you exactly where their money goes every month. If you don't know where your money is going, you can't control it. The second lesson is to live below your means, not below your dreams. There's nothing wrong with wanting a better home, a nicer car, or a comfortable lifestyle. The problem comes when today's lifestyle prevents tomorrow's financial freedom. Financially successful people don't spend money just because they have it. They spend according to a plan. The third lesson is to treat every paycheck as an opportunity, not a reward. When your paycheck arrives, don't immediately think about what you can buy. Instead, ask yourself, how can this paycheck move me one step closer to my financial goals? That simple change in thinking can transform your financial future. Another important lesson is to create a monthly cash flow review. At the end of every month, spend just 30 minutes reviewing your finances. Ask yourself, where did my money go? Which expenses were necessary? Which expenses could I avoid next month? Did my spending reflect my priorities? Am I making financial progress? Those 30 minutes could save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars over the course of a year. Finally, remember that cash flow is not about being rich. It is about having control. A person earning $4,000 a month with healthy cash flow is often in a stronger financial position than someone earning $10,000 but spending $11,000. Money doesn't create peace of mind. Good financial habits do. As we conclude, remember this powerful truth. Your income determines how much money comes into your life, but your cash flow determines whether that money builds your future or disappears before the month ends. Learn to master your cash flow, and you'll be taking one of the biggest steps toward financial stability and long-term wealth. If you found this lesson helpful, subscribe to Explains 102, where financial tips are made simple. Every week, We explain important financial concepts in a practical, easy-to-understand way, helping you make smarter money decisions and build lasting financial confidence. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.